We'll have friends, we'll have uncles, we'll have cousins, grandparents, acquaintances who will wake up and see Nick Taylor not on the team and a guy, Taylor Pendrith, who they never heard of probably on the team because Nick Taylor hit a putt in this country. And they'll be like, what happened? Weird. What are you doing? What are you doing? They'll act like it's leaving Messier off Nagano 96 for Rob Zamner. But they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog Fantasy, the season finale of golf. We're at Eastlake for the Tour Championship. We'll be breaking down the BMW Championship a little bit later on, but I do want to let you know the show is presented by Underdog Fantasy. And for you good people out there right now, there's a big bonus that you can get. First-time depositors get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000. There's only one way to truly win with the fantasy props or betting odds. That's take advantage of the bonuses. So if you haven't done it yet, use code MAYO at Underdog Fantasy and get that deposit bonus of up to $1,000. Then hit the description or the comment section of the show on the video or audio. I am running a season-long Pick'em League, and you can pre-register for that down in the description right now. It's a Google form. You need your Underdog handle, and you need an email address. That's all you need to do to get yourself locked in. Then I'll have the rest of the rules and the payouts and everything probably by the end of the week for the AFC win total show. If you missed the NFC win total show, shame on you. You should really go check that out. Additionally, I'm giving away $500 to one of you, straight cash ratings and review and subs for Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you've done it already, get yourself back in the draw by doing it right now. If you've never done it, help us out. Subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars. Apple Podcasts and Spotify will be drawing a winner week 1. Sometime, probably during the Spread Pick show. We'll see, all right? So Geoff Fienberg is on the line with me right now. Did you enjoy the NFC win total show?
I did. I'm still giggling to myself about a couple things from the Cuss Corners. I always enjoy it. I don't, how do you put this? You know, sort of, there's a couple things I don't want to say like want to take back or rephrase, but hey, my opinions are out there on the NFC.
Okay, so everyone go check that out. We have AFC coming out on Thursday. Additionally, I didn't see a shot from the BMW Championship, but the two guys that I bet on were in striking position going into Sunday, and I saw that they were the only two players inside the top 20 to shoot over par on Sunday. That would be Taylor Pendrith and Wyndham Clark. So thanks for nothing, guys. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. I would say I enjoyed it. I mean, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, Pat, 365 put Ludwig to 27-1, and then I used my 30% bonus to the max. So I was in once again, and my main takeaway from the tournament was even the guys at the top, the guys playing better than anyone else in the field, including the player who won, everyone struggled feeling comfortable, it seemed like, at all times. Outside of a par 3, like beside the pin, you know, when you stuck it, it seemed like all the great shots from the tournament were honestly like mishits. It's very weird. It was very weird. It felt like a lot of the players just had a hard time being comfortable, be it the elevation change, be it the late week weather that had it play different than, I guess, some of the practice rounds. Then it got really firm and guys were complaining about the bunkers, but I don't know. It was entertaining.
Okay.
I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I wasn't like blown away by it. Like I said, it just felt like guys really, despite some like really hot rounds, you know, by all the players who were at the top at one point in the tournament, everyone truly like just numbers were out there, and guys it seemed like didn't feel right. The guys who were leading couldn't hit a wedge. Like, I don't know. And I don't know whether that like made it more entertaining to watch, or the fact that the course has some variables just in terms of like putting the guys out of their comfort zone that makes it a good course, or people think it's a gimmick course. I'm not really sure. Looked beautiful.
Yeah. But do you think like Scotty really seemed to deal with the elevation changes pretty poorly?
a lot of guys did. Like I said, even the leaders. So I'm not surprised. It seemed like Keegan was able to make like the least amount of doubles because the other guys at the top had a lot of doubles. So maybe that was a differentiating factor for him. On Saturday, Adam Scott hit 3 tee shots OB in like the first 8 holes or something. It was really weird. And Ludwig, who, I will say it almost was like yesterday is the last time I will be a true apologist, because it's one of those things where like he didn't win and that's kind of all that matters. He was so good. And it's like your eyeballs aren't lying to you. And, I'm not like, I don't think he'll ever have a season like Scotty Scheffler, but I think he'll be number 1 in the world for a long time. That's not a bold take. We kind of saw a lot. We've seen a lot of great players come and win a lot right away. And we've seen a lot of great players take a beating. And then we've seen a lot of players who we thought would be great. And I'm not comparing Cam Young to Ludwig. Think that, then look where we are after 3 years of Cam Young. Like you're still waiting. And Ludwig's actually won, I think, on both tours. Obviously swing season is what it is, but in sort of being, close to football, chatting with a internet friend of mine who's a fan of our show, Charger Ties, claims to be a buddy of former Fowler, current Ludwig caddy, Joey Scovern, and just says, I was talking about him on the weekends, like, yeah, Ludwig, like he's playing well, but Ludwig just doesn't like the court, doesn't feel comfortable. And maybe that's where I've taken that line from and said it a lot already. But you watched Keegan and Scott play. They didn't feel comfortable either. And those were the guys at the very top. So, Ludwig got a bloody nose on the first hole on Monday, Pat.
And then he made the putt.
Then he made a sick putt. But all he did was make putts. He hit a couple great, all he did was make putts. And then he stopped making like 10 footers. But it was really weird because he was just, I don't know. It was there for him. Clearly, again, it was there for him, and he didn't take advantage of a moment. So he doesn't start his career with like a 3-win season, which was all in front of him. So he clearly wasted a great opportunity. But starting in 2025, I'll be harder on him about it.
Oh, harder on him as in like more critical.
Yeah, in terms of like, you got to close it. Like, to me, it's just like, it's a rookie quarterback. You see him like, he's amazing. He does it all. Fourth quarter's got away from him. You'll be like, okay, well, that guy's not going to like, sort of bear down a bit better. Yeah. So I don't know. I have a hard time being hypercritical. The guy never played in a major before and finished second in the Masters. So many guys know that place like the back of their hand. Then you go to places that no one's seen before, finish second, contended in other majors, would have beaten Wyndham on Sunday at the Pebble, I believe, but obviously it's easy for people to say that he wouldn't.
You're gonna say that's a real Jets hypothetical Super Bowl win right there.
It's a little closer than Jets hypothetical Super Bowl win, but that's fair for people to fight. Again, he was just, he played great in majors. He played great in elevated events. He's played great in FedEx Cup events. Like, if like you want to poke holes and nitpick, sure. I don't even think he lost a Sunday round score to anyone near the top either. So if you tried to pick on him, I don't think you could have. Someone came at me. We ended up with a Keegan Ludwig matchup. Guess what happened? Keegan won. He still lost to Ludwig because he missed that putt. What did I say? I'm a good guy. Don't send me your money, Capper. Don't send me your money, BC. We can bet that on a football bet for us. I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting it. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. But yeah. I don't want, and this rant, I don't even know if it is a rant, but shouldn't take away from Keegan. Last guy in the field, fucking captain, wins the thing. Good golf almighty. Like, that's super cool. It's so cool, like the captain chance, and that'll be happening for a whole year. And we're gonna see him pretty close in Montreal. I have no doubts. I thought he should have been on the team just to get in the locker room previous to winning. Now he won. So cool.
Let's talk about President's Cup because the first 6 are in on each side. Now we have, well, maybe this will determine at Eastlake at least who the final few spots are going to be. Guys that are right on the fringe. If they have a good week, maybe they end up playing themselves onto the team. But for the U.S., it is Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark, Patrick Cantlay, and Sahith Theegala are the top 6 there. And then for the internationals, Corey Connors loses out on his spot after the BMW Championship. He would have been auto-selected. He is no longer auto-selected. So it's Hideki, Tom Kim, Sung Jae, Jason Day, Adam Scott, and Byung-Hun An are the 6 that are in. So it's Team America versus Team East Asia and Oceania, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's unfortunate no Canadians played well enough to qualify, but are any Canadians good enough to actually qualify? Puts Weir in a tough spot in some respects where now, he might feel forced. Hopefully he doesn't because, it's an international team. It's not a Canadian team. No surprises anywhere there. I think the international team's pretty much easier. I think the international team is top 11 in the standings, and I take Siwoo over Nick Taylor. That is the team I would send to Montreal.
Well, Nick Taylor is 11th in the standings right now.
No, he's 12th.
Did not update? He's 11th.
I was looking at
Adam had the 3 Canadians. So Connors is 7th, so he's going to be on the team. Nick Taylor is 11th, Hadwin is 12th, Pendrith is 13th, Siwoo is 14th.
That hasn't updated.
Okay.
I was looking at the buddy on Twitter, sent it out last night. VC606, who does the world ranking stuff. He updated it last night.
I'm looking at the official President's Cup page, and it's updated because Keegan Bradley moved up 8 spots.
They haven't updated the international team.
Oh, maybe.
Where do they have Bez?
They have Bez at 10.
Pendrith is 11th. Taylor is 12th.
Okay. I guess it's sort of irrelevant, but I guess
Pendrith better be on the team, because I asked Bodog to give me a line last week for Pendrith to be on the team. They gave me plus 200, and I bet maxed it to 250, and then had to bet smaller increments that were sent to the traders and kept betting it as they lowered the number on me. So he better be on the team. For me, that's an international incident if Taylor Pendrith is left off this team.
Because of your bet?
No, because if you go, in my opinion, I've said it many times, if you're on the international side and you make it to Eastlake, automatic qualifier. There's automatic qualifiers, and then there's the sub-automatic qualifiers. They do not have 12 better bodies than the human beings who make it to fucking Eastlake. So if you make it to Eastlake, you are automatic. Automatic. Now, there's enough spots where they could take the good players who didn't make it to Eastlake, but if you get there, you're automatic, in my opinion. There's no argument how you could argue that 12 players deserve it more than you or are playing better than you if you get to the end of the road in the PGA season. The best tour on earth.
Well, I'm kind of with you here. So I think that Connors, Minwoo, Cam Davis, Bez, and Pendrith and Siwoo should be the 6 that are selected. Do you think there is a chance Weir would take Nick Taylor over Pendrith?
No.
I think there's a chance.
No. Because he won the Canadian Open?
Yes, that is exactly it.
Then he would take them both and leave off Siwoo.
Now, yeah, I don't think I think 3 Canadians as captain picks is probably a bit like, Mike, what are you doing here?
Then sorry, Pat, we'll have friends, we'll have uncles, we'll have cousins, grandparents, acquaintances who will wake up and see Nick Taylor not on the team and a guy, Taylor Pendrith, who they never heard of, probably on the team because Nick Taylor hit a putt in this country. And they'll be like, what happened? Weird. What are you doing? What are you doing? They'll act like it's leaving Messier off Nagano 96 for Rob Zamner. But they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. He's been abysmal. This is if you want to give him the last spot, that's fine because you think he can hang with a dragon because He's met some big moments. That's fine, but he does not deserve it over Taylor Pendrith. It's not even close.
Nagano 98.
Nagano 98.
It was an N64 game, too.
It was Atlanta 96. Yeah, you're right.
So I guess it comes down to this. The final spot for the President's Cup, if we think that Pendrith is on, is between Taylor and Hadwin, Siwoo, and Mac Hughes, who is actually next. All the Canadians are like right on the bubble of being the last spot in the standings.
Max.
And then you have EVR, Griot, Ryan Fox, Thirsty Lawrence, Rio Hisatune, and then you're into like Vegas, Svensson, CT Pan. Rico Hui is up there as well. Is there anyone like this? Like, I just think you have the Siwoo experience factor, and I think this is a really good course for Siwoo as well. It's not super long. It's shaped a lot like Sawgrass and Le Club National. There's water everywhere. It's an accuracy course. Like, everything just fits taking Siwoo.
Literally no one outside of like 14 names has a chance. If I had to give my 15th name for internationals or 14th, it would be the European Japanese baby Nakajima, because I think he's going to be amazing, and I'd take him over any of those jabronis. But
Griot would be, I think course fit wise, Griot would be really good, but I just don't think he's close enough to be. He's like lesser Siwoo.
Nick Taylor he's like lost at the moment. I don't even think it's much of a, I honestly don't think it's much of a debate. I think Pendrith is a lock. Obviously, I've bet it, so that's how I feel. But yeah, I would take Siwoo over Taylor. I absolutely would. And that means that they've probably got Nick Taylor like banners. You know what I mean, Pat?
Oh, yeah.
Like made for the grounds and stuff. They're gonna have to pull that shit down, I think.
Or force Weir into taking him.
Or force Weir into taking him.
Like okay, but listen, maybe he doesn't take Pendrith's spot, but I do think that there is a chance he gets the last spot. I would not take him. He didn't even make the BMW Championship, and he won this year.
So 2 months ago, I'd have been, yeah, for sure he's on the team. Like, he has to die to not make the team. And it was almost like Finau-esque a year ago. He just died. Like, in the golf terms, he literally just died. He had one good round, I think, and it was to start the
Wyndham. I was there, and then he missed the cut.
I don't think he can go. If there's integrity, if this wasn't in Canada, this wouldn't even be a conversation. And I think it's embarrassing. And I hope Mike Weir knows what's up, but he might not, because there's a lot of blurriness around this situation, at least in this country, I think.
Since the Masters, he's made one cut.
Oh, no way. It's like worse. I literally said he died, and it's worse than I thought.
Now, it gets smoothed out a little bit because he got himself into all those signature events, but there was no cut there, and he just finished terribly at the Heritage and Wells Fargo, Memorial, Travelers, and the first leg of the FedEx Cup. He made the cut in Scotland and came 57th.
Do you know what I could have gotten better odds on? I asked Bodog for the wrong bet.
It should have been Taylor not to make the team.
Taylor not to make the team. I could have caught a trader there. I mean, damn it.
Could have got parlay them together.
Yeah, they wouldn't have let me do that. Yeah, no, I think we're in agreement on the 12. I think most clear-eyed, there's some questions about the American back end and like how you want to do it and what's important to you. I think most neutral golf fans have the 12 that we have suggested, at least from the Twitter discourse. It's been like almost like a 90%. This is the 12. It's the list. And then you're swapping Siwoo for Taylor. And that just is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. The American team is far more fun to think about in terms of the back end. So I told you the 6 that are on there. The next 6 in the standings right now: Burns, Finau, Henley, Keegan, Harmon, Homa. And then it's Kirk, Akshay, Cole, Denny, Horschel, and Hoagie. Then Justin Thomas. Do you think Justin Thomas sneaks onto this again? Because he's the last man in the field at Eastlake. let's say he goes out and ends up coming in like third or something like that. Is he just then on the team?
Like, yes, no secret. Was I cheering for Alex Noren to bump Justin Thomas out of Eastlake? I was. If you watch the show, you know that. I don't even have to tell you that. I guess he's got to play great. He's got to play great this week.
But
it would be really weird, like a team without Spieth and Justin. Be really funny to see that team be awesome. And then that really like put gasoline on like they were the problem.
Burns, Finau, Henley, and Keegan, I think, are all on for sure. And then there's 2 more spots up for grabs. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that Keegan has now done enough here in the past few weeks to get himself onto the team. Obviously, the win really does help. And then you have the factor that he's going to be the Ryder Cup captain next year. He was left off the Ryder Cup team a year ago. That, good vibes. Let's get Keegan on this team. And then he can learn how all this stuff works, too, in the present day and meet a lot of these guys and see how they are up close. I think that benefits the Ryder Cup.
He was already an assistant. And Kisner on the broadcast, Pat, we've talked about that a bit. They're talking about like the assistants, like the captain group chat a lot. Now, like they have to take Keegan off it because he's probably on the team. So that was a fun dynamic. But yeah, Keegan, he's just not just an assistant captain. Like give him the full experience. Let him feel the pairings. Let him feel the teammates. I think, especially for the top half of the team, like the blue blood aspect of the team, it will do Keegan so much. It will serve the Ryder Cup team infinity to have him like truly not just in like the like USA meet, like the players only meetings, the players only aspect of it. I think it will do so much for the future of the Keegan Ryder Cup captaincy for him to actually be a part of that and to feel how those guys at the top, the blue bloods on the team vibe and shit. Like we know there's a lot of friends there, but just to like experience it, I think it's great. I think this is so good for Bethpage. I'm so excited for us to go and the crew we're going with. Like I get goosebumps. Like I'm so fired up for it. And then I get even more fired up for something that I'm just going to probably be on my couch watching. When I say go, I mean to Montreal next month, but even I already like the hairs already stand up thinking about Europe versus USA at Bethpage Black.
I really think that Eastlink is going to determine the final 2 spots on this team. With Harman and Homa being 11 and 12, like they're both coming in, and I mean Homa's coming in terrible for him. And then you have Harman, who just has been incredibly mediocre for the past 2 months or so. And then everyone else is like kind of middling, and with a good week could get them on. If it was me right now and I had to take the 2, I'd take Akshay and Billy Horschel.
So we see this identically because this allows, in my opinion, them to check both boxes for what the President's Cup, because it's a light event. For USA Golf, it is the light event. It is the tune-up. They're lucky to have it in a way the Europeans don't, because it lets them do these sorts of things. And it's actually amazing they're not more successful because they do have this yearly in some respects to keep building. But what you've done is what I love to do, because you answer sort of like the lifetime achievement. And I never want to give Billy a rider spot. And then it answers the future. A guy who's going to be part of this program possibly as early as next year, likely next year. If his arrow keeps going up the way like the game, it was so beautiful. Like all different types of courses. The guy can just second page of a leaderboard, no matter the event. I loved it. So that answers all the things. The lifetime achievement aspect, and we're going to give this guy reps because there's a very good chance he's part of it. And no offense. I'm sorry, Chris Kirk. You can get your lifetime achievement again at the next one. Like he's made teams in the past, but I don't care. And you might not say this is a lovely Chris Kirk course because of the other guys on the international side that you said it's a good course for. So I see that player profile, but I wouldn't take a guy like that over Akshay and Billy.
Akshay is not playing well, is the problem coming in. Like he needed to keep it going, but post his he came second at the Rocket Mortgage, then he came fifth the next week, I think, in Scotland is where he was. Let's see. No, he's fifth at the Travelers at the Elevated, then he came second at the Rocket Mortgage. And since then he's missed 2 cuts. He played pretty poorly at the BMW Championship, was T12 last week. So I think he falls in that same boat as Homa and Harmon and those guys, with the caveat as you have identified this guy as someone who might be on the Ryder Cup team next year. Let's get him some reps. Let's get him some experience in this sort of format. That's why I still think that he could make the team. I think he is more likely to make it than like Denny or Eric Cole. Like, I think those guys are out. Unless, like I said, if one of these guys has a really big Eastlake and comes inside the top 5, they're probably on the team. They really are.
Honestly, I'll be honest, Pat. I think Max's match record might save him.
And listen, he was second in the field in approach last week, despite losing 10 strokes off the tee. Like, he can't get off the tee. That's an issue. The rest of his game seems okay. I am shocked he's at Eastlake.
He might make the team. He's got a lovely.
Oh, wait, no, he is. Sorry, he is not at Eastlake. That's my bad.
He's got, if memory serves me right, he's done really well in these events in the past, and that might be enough to get him there. And the fact that you mentioned, like, so you send him out in best ball, and we just take the other guy's drive, and then Max is fine. Like that's the thing. The format can allow you to hide maybe parts of a game. Maybe.
So do you think that he ends up, regardless of what happens, do you think that he has a 50-50 shot of being here?
Probably higher than 50-50 shot. Probably higher than 50-50 shot.
Okay, well, let's work off the assumption that Max does make the team. That leaves one spot open that we've identified. What would you give Harmon's odds of making the team then? Like Harmon over Akshay, Harmon over Horschel.
Yeah, and maybe Harmon actually, now that maybe Harmon has to get it over Max, which maybe it should be. Does Harmon feel safer than Max? Let's answer that question.
Sure, but do you really need safety from your 11th and 12th guy? Don't you just shoot for upside at that point? Depending on how they want to construct this team. I don't know how they're going to go about constructing the team, but I think that a lot of us, I think the internationals are more likely to say, hey, like, we think this guy's going to be a star. Let's put him on the team. I think we felt that way with the Europeans last time, too, because the back end was looking so bleak. But with the Americans, I don't know if they want to use the President's Cup as a Ryder Cup tune-up for these guys that might be on the team, or give the pass to guys who might not be on the Ryder Cup team anymore. Like, do we think that Harmon is going to make the Ryder Cup team next time around? Probably not. Like, he had won the Open Championship. That's why he got on the team. That was it. That he's there. He's 11th in points. Technically, he should be on the team if you're just taking the entire scope of things. I wouldn't put him on, but they might be like, hey, good job, Brian. You're on the President's Cup team.
Yeah, and by everything you just said, he actually might deserve it more than Max does if they're, have their scale of who deserves it more. And you're right. The difference between the international and even the European teams to the Americans is they're always less talent rich at the very back. So it allows them to maybe entertain these aspects of, maybe we have obviously they're always trying to win and the Europeans are great at it, but there's always maybe an ulterior motive with that last pick. Well, the Americans, like, there's still too many good players that they're not forced into that, and people like to say like Scotty Scheffler was that, but no, he fucking deserved to be on that team. I mean, like the first, before he had won yet, like, he's like, no, this guy's like better than like 4 guys on your team. Like, this wasn't as much of a, like, we're going to get him reps as this guy was actually one of the 12 best American golfers this year. So I don't even put that in the same category. And some people like to say that it was, but I would disagree. I have a hard time picking this American team. I'm shocked at like how out of the mix Cam Young probably is.
Okay, do you know where Cam Young is in the standings? Who he is in between?
No.
He is in 21st between JT Poston is ahead of him and Davis Thompson is just behind him.
That is so fucked. The guy,
Hoagie
hopefully
is ahead
just-
of him.
that's too bad.
It's a tough scene. Couple guys from just looking at the FedEx Cup standings right now. It's nice to see a couple of these guys because if you qualify for the final 30, you get into the Century, you get into the elevated events, obviously, but you get into the Masters as well. So Aaron Rye we'll see at the Masters, Hoagie, Kirk, Bezadenhout, Pavon, Pendrith, Straka, Bobby Mack will be back at Augusta. And that's really it of like the guys that like you really wouldn't think about. Adam Scott doesn't have to worry. I guess he didn't have to worry anyway. He's a Masters champion. The Gallo will be there. So it's nice to see like some of these names from the back end get into Augusta.
Last year, I don't think there was any turnover. Maybe one guy got in. This year, I will say it was a bit more entertaining watching some guys on the bubble. I was tracking it. So first, like Bez and Pendrith, just to keep an eye on some President's Cup stuff. I mean, there's a champion that's going to be awarded this week, and that's fun, and it's a lot of money. In some weird way, like this getting to East Lake for 93% of the tour is like the championship. Like, because you just mentioned even 2-year exemption, elevated events, the Masters lets you really set your schedule. It was a big deal for Noren, Pat, because he was on that like couple year PGA European thing relationship, and it would have been big for him to as anybody, but for him to have been able to get in there, set that schedule. Now he's off to a year of like goober events again, and he plays in them. He doesn't win them though.
No, but he'll be in
You know what I mean.
he'll be in every signature event, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And I think he's top 50 in the world right now, so that would get him to all the majors as well. I don't think it's as bleak as you think it is.
Oh, top 30 seems like the gold standard for all of them, but like the 10 guys who think they can win the thing.
It is, but top 50 is the most important because that locks you into all the signature events for next year.
And what's the number that has to have you fighting for your card again?
Like 70 to 125. Anyway, I was away this weekend. I did my golf trip this weekend. Cust accomplished the Century, Jeff, to great fanfare.
Was that the Century Club? What are we talking
Oh,
about?
just 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so the Century Club. I did that in college.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we were all talking about. Cust just had never done it before, so we all had bets of when he would tap out. He didn't tap out. He made it. So you got a big standing ovation.
Yeah. 100
And-
shots of beer, 100 minutes. Good
and-
for you, Cust.
And his team beat our team in the Ryder Cup by 2 points. Came down to the last match.
Sucks. Or, I don't know. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, it was a great time. It's
It
always
was a great time.
Yeah.
There's nothing like I've done it before, like hitting like a 12-footer to have a hole or something. I'm not talking about like playing for a few bucks with your buddies. I mean, obviously, like serious money, sure. When you play these like makeshift Ryder Cups, that's the greatest fucking feeling. I don't know, that nice distance putt to have a hole. Like, I don't know, one of the best feelings I ever had on a golf course.
And shout out to Craig who hooked us up with the jerseys from SoBo Promos, SOBO Promos, and embroidered that like cuss sour face onto it, which was just simply amazing.
Yeah, that's some high level work. I'm gonna have to write that. I'm gonna have to write that down.
And the
Next time
shirts,
I want to play a gag gift. Yeah, my
very
boys.
very breathable. Like I played. Here was the one thing. Now that we're all getting a little bit older, and we went just a bit too hard on Thursday night, it killed like 3 people for the entire weekend. Like they went too hard Thursday night and just didn't recover. Not even by Sunday. Like they were just out of it. But the biggest thing was we played the 2 rounds on the Saturday. Even with carts, like it's too much. Just the one round a day is probably enough at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, probably when you're boozing.
Yeah.
And for sure, Guys that had it, that could handle their booze a year ago, they're a year older and it hits them that much harder. Maybe they got kids and everything hurts. But yeah, I'm at the stage in my life where even early, like there have been times I'm on the first tee and it's like I genuinely feel being 40 with 3 kids. But I'm sure there's dudes who are older than me. They're like, suck it up, puss. You do.
Listen, if there's no drinking involved or anything like that and being up to like 2 a.m. or whatever it is, then it probably wouldn't be so much of a problem. But when you're in like the sweltering heat, even riding in a cart for 36 holes, like drinking all day as well, by the time hole 26 comes along, no one's really feeling it anymore. And then everyone just goes, like that's why everyone just goes back to the cabin and passes out. Like there's nothing going on that night.
But also, I guess like this really should affect like how the captains draft now. In the sense that you like a lower tier golfer who's not going to party as hard might be the guy like who can get you the points in the last 2 matches, as opposed to like, you know, the good guy who's going to hit it deep because he can't wait to get away from his family or something.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Passion, drive, patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Supercharger, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. Everyone who tunes into the Pat Mayo Experience knows from time to time I like to talk to you about some health supplements that I end up taking, and I've been doing Timeline's Mito Pure now for about a month. Feel great? And I think you can too. Take 2 soft gels a day for 2 months, and you can see significant improvements in your cellular energy, your muscle strength, and your endurance. That was the big thing. I've been golfing more this summer and lifting less. Yet when I go back to the gym for my once a week, like max lift, I am not really atrophying that much. I'm not losing a ton of muscle, which is absolutely fantastic news for me and my golf game, because if you work out too much, then you get too sore, you get too stiff, you need to retain that flexibility. I'm retaining my muscle mass at the same time, although I'm not working out as much, and it comes in 2 product designs to fit your needs. They're berry powder, which is great to mix into your breakfast, yogurt, or daily smoothie. That's how I've been doing it. I've been eating some strawberries, raspberries, blackberries with a little bit of yogurt, a little bit of protein powder, then boom, Timeline's Mito Pure right on top of that. Or they have soft gels for the days where you're just on the run and wanted something convenient to grab and go. So, Timeline is offering 10% off your first order of Mito Pure right now. So go to timeline.com/Mayo to get that 10% off. All right?
Let's talk about Eastlake. We're here. There's 2 sets of odds, as everyone knows. There's the actual standings odds that you can bet. Then there's the actual 72 stroke play where you just set everyone at even and do the real odds. I never have interest in betting the actual like staggered tournament where Scotty starts out in the lead at -10, Xander starts at -8, Hideki is 7 under, Keegan is 6 under, Ludwig at 5, Rory, Morikawa, Clark, Burns, and Cantlay start at 4 under, and then down to guys that started even. That would be Kirk, Hoagie, Rye, Bezadenhout, and Justin Thomas. And the odds for that are staggered, as you would expect, like Scheffler's +110 to win, Xander +240, Hideki 10-1, Ludwig 16-1, Rory 20-1, Cantlay 25-1 are the top of the odds. Worth noting that the one and done was up for grabs amongst like 20 guys, I think. And it seemed like everyone inside the top 20 all picked one of 2 players, because everyone who finished top 5, I believe, except for the guy who came in, the guy who came in 5th didn't do it. The guy who came in 6th was the guy who made the biggest move. He had Ludwig, and that earned him $1.5 million, put him up to 6th place. That was Brendan Swan. He won $20K for his 6th place finish thanks to Ludwig. But a whole bunch of people, the top 5 guys all used Victor last week. So they all kind of like blocked themselves out from winning. So the guy, Nick Rinker, congratulations. You won $80,000. Victor, having a mediocre week didn't hurt you because everyone directly behind you on the leaderboard also had Victor. But everyone else, Geoff, trying to catch up, all had Hideki.
That sucks.
That's a tough beat with a WD. Why the hell did he WD?
I don't know. I didn't even look into it. I walked off the golf course Friday after lunch, saw he WD'd. I was like, Hideki always takes this FedEx Cup event off. Remember in the old format? He would like never play. I guess he felt he had to, and then he won, and then even had a great first round. He missed a 2-foot putt on to give Keegs his FRL. Oh my God. I didn't know he WD'd. I honestly didn't even look into it. I'm going to just share some full disclosure with our audience who loves us. I am just so excited for golf to go away. There's like some Procom event the week before the President's Cup, or I never heard of the sponsor, and then the President's Cup. But I'm so excited for what feels like 2 weeks without having to look at golf. I mean that.
And then you're going to get I always feel the same way. And then Napa comes around. It's like, oh yeah, I like this tournament.
Like it. I'll bet it. I'll look at it. I'll enjoy having it as part of the Sunday screens. But 2 weeks without golf, Pat, when you consider the schedule they run, it feels like 2 months, and it is just nice. I don't care if they're even playing in Europe. I saw Hatton's playing the British Masters. Congratulations to him. Someone can talk me into a bet this week. I don't have I don't like betting something that the players I don't like betting something that has no actual relevance. And that's what the 72-hole stroke thing is. So I don't know. And I don't want to bet the other thing. And I've been good at this event because last year I obviously rode the Victor hot streak to the way home. And the year before, I think I was on Rory. But I don't think it's getting away from the top two, and I don't know how to play it. So I'll just waste money somewhere, but I don't have a feeling on anything.
So the PGA Tour returns for the Pro Core Championship September 12th. That's the one in Napa. And then it's off till the President's Cup, and then it resumes the fall schedule the week after that. So we basically have one tournament left in the next month till the President's Cup, which I am on board with. Let's do that every time. Because the Olympics sort of screwed it up because it pushed everything back a week. That realistically, the Tour Championship should have been this weekend, and then everything is just off. This is too late.
I agree.
This is too late.
I also changed the topic line as you were, I think, going to congratulate the winner of the one and done.
Well, I was going to say that at Nico Carr was the highest finisher who took Hideki at the BMW Championship. He finished with $23 million in the one and done and earned $0 for this weekend. That sucks. Because he finished, let's see, he won $9,600, and if he gets anything, if he gets anything, he wins like $20,000 or more. It's a tough.
That
beat.
really fucking sucks.
That
really fucking sucks.
Let me ask you this.
What a great pool you host there, Pat. I mean, what incredible payouts, season long. Just the amount of entries, the sort of payouts you can get for even sniffing something close to a win, let alone win. Seeing what the amount of money, like you mentioned, buddies in 5th and 6th place were taken home. For a second, I'd be like, wait, you didn't win and you won that? So congratulations to you in that operation, because what a fucking contest.
Well, we guaranteed $800,000 this year. We're hoping that we can get enough entries without increasing it was $200 this year without increasing the entry fee. We'd like to get it to $1 million guaranteed next year, I think. So bookmark Fantasy Golf Championships for January. Of course, we'll be doing shows on it. But let me ask you this. How many wins do you think the guy who won got over the course of the season?
So I saw that guy, Andrew, who's always been a big fan of us.
He came fourth.
Showed us
$32,000.
He finished 4th, and he had 4 wins. He had 4 wins, finished 4th. What did he win? Like 80K? What, 34K? Or what am I making up?
$32,000.
Yeah. He had 4 wins, finished 4th. The winner 6.
5.
Oh, see, I always say I can't do it. Like it's like the Vegas Super Contest. Like
But by the way, I registered us for the Super Contest this year.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I'll talk. Okay, good. 'Cause I got I like that a lot. That's actually pretty funny. We'll see. But I see that winning percentage. I'm like, I could literally never do that. Like I could never do that. 5 wins. That's less than I would have thought. And I would have guessed closer to 7 or 8 had I not known 4th had 4. Had I not had that like starting point to guess off of, I probably am guessing 7 or 8 wins. I mean that to win that thing. So wow, 5 wins.
And the guy who won also had the fewest made cuts of anyone inside the top 10. Just 5 top 10s, 18 top 20s with 5 wins. That's what you were looking at.
Yeah, when you say that, it seems doable, but I could never.
Yeah.
I suck. I probably didn't finish inside like 500th place.
I finished just outside the money at 700th, which sucks. I was in the money all year too and just had a terrible final 6 weeks. Anyway, that's how you get it done in the one and done. First and second place both had 5 wins. Third place only had 3 wins. They just had the big wins. So what do you want to do for Eastlake? How do you want to bet this? Rory's 20-1. You said you like that. I was looking at the stroke play. Maybe it's time for your guy Sam Burns. He's been close the past 2 weeks. He's putting on a nice Sunday charge. This feels like a good course for him.
So what I meant to say was I had Rory 2 years ago when he won here, and I had Victor last year. So I've been good here, but there's no one that I want to back. Like I don't think it's getting away from those 2 guys. And in previous years, I was excited to I'm going to take on those guys and we're going to catch them. And as for the 72-hole stroke play, I don't like investing in things that don't matter. Like I don't bet, they'll make at least in like my actual bet, but I guess everything here you're just betting like a prop, right? I'm not betting it like an outright bet, I guess. I got to get out of that headspace first.
I'm thinking, so here's what I was thinking. I'm not going to touch the other one, the one with the starting strokes. I'm going to touch the 72-hole stroke play. Burns at 18-1. I think we've said this every year, and I think he's come second twice, but Fleetwood at 20-1, where he can win a 72-hole stroke event yet not win, seems just right up Tommy's alley. And he's 20-1. And he's playing like some decent golf coming in. He obviously had the worst putting week of his career 2 weeks ago. He rallied on Sunday. He had a very good ball striking week again. Actually turned the putter around a little bit at the BMW Championship. And then I was thinking one of maybe, I don't know, Billy Horschel, Aaron Rye. Like, this is a great course for those guys. Or even Cam Davis didn't make it, but I was eyeing Cam Davis being it at a Donald Ross course, but he's not here. He finished 32nd.
So, yeah, I feel like we would always say that about Xander and Tommy, about just the Eastlake stroke play, not actual champion. And I feel like that's the bet I have to just make, is the 20-1 on Tommy's stupid stroke play. And I'm going to have a lot on it. Like I said, I'm going to be betting this week like muck props, not like outrights. So when he actually wins the event, I won't even win money and he won't even win the event. Like everything makes perfect sense. Everything else feels like pointless to me. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to be like sit on a fence like some, no, I won't use that term. And it's probably not the term you thought, so I'll just say the term. Like some lib. I'm not going to like sit on the fence like a Canadian liberal, I mean, because we got 3 parties, and I've been coming in hot. I've had Rom 2 wins, Ludwig. So second win, second. Like I should be feeling something. I don't see it. I just want it to end. Truth be told, I just want it to end. That's where my head is at. I want it to end.
How is Hatton playing in the British Masters this week? Isn't Liv playing this week?
So I saw there were odds for Live Chicago. I didn't know if
that's
those.
September 13th. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that does make a little more sense. What are the odds for Hatton? 2-1.
Plus 750.
What do they call that tournament?
The
British Masters.
It was the Betfred British Masters, but I don't know what the title sponsor is now. It's just the British Masters. It's Hatton at plus 750, and then you're into like the 20s immediately. Matt Wallace is second. Thorbjorn, McKibben, Rasmus Højgaard, Thirsty Lawrence, Ewan Ferguson, Frederic Lacroix, who ended up winning last week, I think, in Denmark.
Yeah, he was. I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't even look at that stuff. I rarely bet Europe anyway these days. And then this Frederick Lacroix one, I'm like, oh, sick. People probably, if they hit that, they probably hit some amazing ticket. It was like 35-1.
That's what it was last week?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, whoa. Like I thought that guy would have paid much more, but I guess the field was shit and people liked him. So congrats to people who hit that. I'm not knocking hitting a 35-1. I just like would have thought it would have been bigger. Shows what I know.
So do we want to go? Are we going to bet Hatton? Plus 750?
Considering I honestly would have thought it would have been 4-1.
You said plus 250.
Horrible.
So
no, I know. I was making a joke. I was making a joke off what I thought it was. The fact that it's 750 is pretty crazy. But yeah, I would have thought 3-4 would have won. I mean that for sure.
I wonder. I don't know how often he plays in this. Let's see. Is it still at the Belfry? I believe that it is.
Pretty sure it is.
It's still at the Belfry. So since it's moved there the past 3 years, Daniel Hillier won last year. Thorbjorn Olesen won before that. And then Richard Bland got his breakthrough win in 2021. How is he not playing in this tournament? He's not. Too big.
What is Hatton playing in it for?
Just to play in it, I guess.
Hey, good for him. You'd think, like, is he the host?
Nick Faldo is the host.
They're running low on hosts.
Yeah, it would be the Luke Donald Betfred British Masters soon.
It's probably already been the Luke Donald Betfred British Masters. Like, Willett's already had a turn.
All right, it'll be the Joe Dean British Masters soon.
Okay, is Willett playing?
Yes, he's 150-1. You want to bet that?
He hasn't really played much, if any, golf.
Where did he show up that he was fine? And then he was never
the Masters.
Was it the Masters?
Yeah. He hadn't played in like a year. He just wanted to play the Masters. He played okay, I think.
Let's see. He was T45 at the Masters, then he missed the cut in Germany, if like 2 months later, made the cut in Holland and has missed 3 cuts since.
Yeah, it is like back fused. He had 2 decent rounds at the Masters. The fact that he finished 45, considering he was like top 10 all week, like he clearly must have had a horrible Sunday or something. Maybe I'm overranking the top 10, but I remember him just like being 2 under par and playing like lovely, clean golf at Augusta when people are like, how is he even playing? Most people with that surgery are still out for more months. So he's got that going for him. I'm not betting him. I'm not wasting money because I think I'm going to waste a lot of money at the President's Cup. Why? Not that I couldn't waste money here and the President's Cup, but like the stupid golf event I'm going to overexpose myself to will not be this stupid Tour Championship.
Well, let's try to fix the Tour Championship. I think we try to go through this every year, but I think I've settled on what I want the Tour Championship to be, working under the parameters that they already have in place. So you don't want to like completely blow it up and come up with some sort of solution that is impossible to pull off. What I would do is keep the staggered start. I'm fine with the staggered start. But you go into Thursday, Friday, and you have this staggered start. And then you play your 2 rounds, and then you just take the top 8 after 2 rounds, and then they go match play to the end. That's the easiest solution to it.
Yeah, I agree. I would actually be more aggressive with the match play. I truly mean that. I would start it earlier.
You can't,
As it's often
you can't start it earlier. Like I said, working within the parameters of what we know that they're gonna do.
yeah, but you could give buys or something.
Yeah, but then you have more matches. You can only fit in so many matches over 2 days.
No, but they could start the match play from the start of the tournament.
Yeah, but it's not a match play. We know they don't want to do that, so throw
But
that
there's
out.
no more. Okay, here's the thing. There used to be a match play, so maybe they felt it was redundant. Also, this is a 30-man field, which a lot of people have smartly pointed out. The biggest thing that players hated about the old match play format was flying somewhere and going home in 5 hours with no pay. They all get paid so much. I don't think there's the backlash to go home on Thursday. I don't think there's the backlash to go home right away when you're making when the guy's 16 through 30 or something. I guess guys at the top would have a buy, but the back 10 or something go home on Thursday. I don't think they're crying like the Dell match play because they got paid. They got their FedEx Cup check. They got to go home. It's a totally different parameter. I truly believe, but I agree. Okay, let's meet in the middle. Including match play makes perfect sense. It truly does.
So I would say you play your 2 rounds, staggered start. Everyone who's in the top 8, there you go. Then you play 2 matches on Saturday, and then the finals would be, and then you can keep everyone going too. Like you'd play 7 versus 8, or whatever, however it goes, for that amount of money all the way down the list. If you take the final 8, so you do the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and then the final day is just the finals, the semifinals, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever that might be.
I have no issues with it. I would appreciate it. I think they need to appreciate, Pat, that the entire golf world, like there's so many championships at so many levels of golf that are decided by match play, and no one has an issue with it. I don't even think it's as big an issue for TV as people make it seem. I genuinely don't.
I don't think it's a big deal for TV if you get all 8 guys playing on Sunday. If you just have the championship match on Sunday, then it's brutal television.
And that's fine. And I've made a case before to turning it into something like way more. And some people could say that's not appealing, but I don't know. I would involve like some top amateur match. I'd get a ladies match. People can like scoff at this. I'd have like the 2 of the best disabled players in the world be having a match, or like veterans like that. Like, I think they can make it a whole day TV spectacle, celebration of golf. I know we're tired of the quarterback aspect, but I'm sure there's like a celebrity thing they could figure out, some Steph Curry bullshit. Like I've ranted about that before. I think they could turn it into a whole day celebrating the sport that goes around this PGA title match. I think it could be beautiful. And amateurism is as part of golf as more than any other pro sport on earth. So to incorporate it in some way, I think would be lovely. But I'm not an ideas man. No one comes to me for those.
See, I like those. You'd have like, even if it, because you don't want to do, like the U.S. Amateur was a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago now. It's not like you'd want to hold those guys over to play the finals at Eastlake at a totally
no, but you have
venue.
2 different champions, from like a European amateur champion versus the American, like just something.
Yeah.
The Latin, you just make a championship fun match. Not they're not even playing for anything other than pride and on TV. And I think it would resonate in some respects. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things they could do if they were willing to get creative.
Yeah, you could even you could even take the top 4 on the LPGA list and put them into a match play with each other for Saturday and Sunday. Take the top 4 from the Champions Tour and do the same thing, and then you have like 12 matches or something on Sunday, and that would be perfect.
Yeah, I'm just saying there could be some total, again, a celebration of golf in all of its forms. And obviously, like, there'd be a hard pace of play, or like, obviously, like, you can't have anything holding up the championship match to like a significant degree. But Yeah, and I've said that before, and people are probably bored and tired of me saying it. Something else I said before that I want to say again is I believe this to my core. The fact that golf fans don't care about the FedEx Cup shows, in some respects, like how much bigger a road Live has than we truly even like acknowledge. And we acknowledge it's a long road, despite strides they made. No one cares about rich guys playing for goobles of money for on courses in events they don't care about. And that's essentially all Live is. And I get like PGA can gloss things up, but and you know that jig is running its course, but the FedEx Cup at its core is just what every Live event is. And they don't resonate. They don't create any sort of like they don't crash the sports ecosystem at all, because golf fans don't care. And if golf fans don't care, then casual sports fans certainly aren't going to care.
Yeah, that's
So
why
I don't know where Live gets over that. That is like their biggest issue, I think.
I think that's why match play doesn't solve any of these problems, but I can see a casual interest being like, okay, here's the finals for the best player of the year on Sunday. And they're basically, I think first place is 40 million, second place is 20 million. You're basically having a $20 million match play. Like that's somewhat compelling. And you win the finals as well. Like that's the only way that I think you can get the draw. And then if you have a 1v1, because as we've talked about for years, at least the staggered start actually gives you a score that people can track. Remember the year that Tiger won, but Justin Rose won? It was all just like, what the hell is going on here?
See, I actually totally disagree with you on the what the hell is going on here.
We were able to figure it out, but we paid attention to it and knew what was going on. I just imagine my dad tuning in on Sunday. He's like, what the fuck is this? Like, Tiger's winning, but he's not winning?
Again, I say this every year. NASCAR fans can figure it out.
But that's built
in.
But that's like a season-long thing, isn't it?
Isn't the FedEx Cup a season-long thing?
Not really. No one cares until like this week. Like,
I don't think.
No one pays.
No
one pays attention to it. You know what they pay attention to? The Masters.
But I don't think anyone's really paying attention to like the sprint to the NASCAR Cup, and like until it actually gets to that part of the year, much like the FedEx Cup. My only point being is I think you are grossly underestimating people's ability to be like, oh, there's the event this week. That's that leaderboard. And oh, there's a season-long tabulation. That's a different leaderboard at the final event. I don't think that is overly complicated.
Okay, maybe it's not complicated, but I don't think that people like to see someone win a tournament and not win. And I think that's why we have the system in place that we do right now, is because people were too frustrated with it, either be the players, be the viewers, whatever it might be. That's why we get the staggered start. I feel like this match play is the best of both worlds. The staggered start is important. Where you finished is important. That gives you the advantage for the 2 rounds on Thursday and Friday to give yourself that advantage to get into the match play. When that's off, it's all bets off. Whoever wins, wins.
I like it. I'm happy to meet in the middle. I'm not even against any of the idea that splits it up, that incorporates some point of match play. And I also agree with you that it's like when the Yankees or the Cowboys get burned on a rule, like they're more likely to change a rule. The fact that it involved Tiger and he won, but then there was like another guy getting the trophy, that broke them some reason. If like name any other random golfer who was good that year, had they won that tournament, are they changing the rule? Probably fucking not. Probably not. And yeah, I just think it's so stupid as it is. I wish it was just a normal stroke play event without a staggered start, and they had the season-long tabulation. If they were doing 4 days of stroke play like they are, I'd prefer any idea like yours that mixes it up, finishes with an Elite 8 match play.
Let's get to the quick picks. It doesn't sound like you're betting anyone. I like your honesty, and I like your ability not to be forced into making a bet here.
Yeah, no one. I'm honestly nothing. Well, probably by the time we get through the week post Tommy Fleetwood 20-1, 72 hole strokes, but I almost hope it doesn't win because the bet will be so small that it's like I don't want to say I don't want this. We want any money that's going to come the week before football. Like that will be good money. But my rocks, they're just not getting off. Not at all. I don't care. Nothing. Empty. Quick.
So the six that I have circled in the 72 stroke play event, and I'll probably narrow this down to 3, and I'll put those into the newsletter because Tambo and I are not doing a golf show this week because I do not care for the DFS product for this tournament with 30 guys. So we'll just skip out on that. We'll be doing a football NFL strategy show, which you can check out. But I'm actually going to throw Hideki back onto this list because I think 16-1 is actually pretty fair for him. If there's anyone I was going to bet in the overall to come back and beat Scheffler or Xander, it probably would be Hideki because I feel like his odds have been depressed because he withdrew last week because he probably just didn't want to play. But he still played great golf, like you mentioned, in round 1. Tee to green, I think he was one of the leaders. So Decky, Burns, and Tommy at the top. They're 16, 18, and 20 right now. So I'll probably pick 2 of those. And then at the back end, Billy is 35, Horschel. Rye is 45. And then Hoagie is 66-1. I might just play that with like placement points. I would also still give another look to Pendrith, who played really well until the final round at the BMW Championship. He's 70-1. Those are the types of guys that I think could make a run here.
I don't even think Penrith played that bad in the final. I think he shot one over.
He did. But again, he was one of 2 guys in the top 20 to shoot over par in the final round.
On the scoring averages, didn't seem like many guys were under par. So
the only 2 guys that were over par inside the top 20 were Pendrith and Wyndham Clark.
I was tracking them all week. Played fine. I don't even know what I'm.
Oh, sorry, Alex Noren too, because he gagged it coming in. He was +3 and came in 9th.
Curious what the scoring average was yesterday.
Let's see. Keegan and Scott were even. Ludwig was 1 under. Burns 7. Cam Davis 6 under. Fleetwood 3 under. Siwoo 2 under. Xander 1 under. Kirk 3 under. Rory 1 under. Sungjae 1 under. Finau 4 under. And Zalatoris and Lowry were all 1 under. It was probably right around even. There were a couple low scores, especially at the back end. Homa, Pavon, and Justin Thomas were 5 under, 4 under, and 4 under. So it wasn't so bad. Why did Bobby Mack WD? Did you see? I didn't even see that he WD.
Nope. I didn't even look into it. I mean, I apologize, friends. I'm just
You're done?
I don't know. Golf, truly hit a wall. I loved it. It was fun, but it's over. I'm happy it's over. I'll make bets in Napa, and I saw October's busy. There's 5 events and all. So out of the President's Cup, what do they call it again? It's not the swing season anymore. They gave it some stupid new name, and are we playing for some mini swing season shit? But
yeah, it's like the Aeon Swing. I think if you get yourself into the top 5 at the end of the swing, then you qualify for the first 3 signature events.
I guess I'd just be in my head, I'm curious to think about which higher end golfers, and I don't mean the higher end, but some of the younger guys like to show up through the swing seasons, get their trophies.
I think you'll see guys in Napa who are on the President's Cup teams. A few of them. Homa will play either way. But some of the back...
Oh, you could be right.
Because it's the only event.
Weir might just say, let's all go out. We're all going out to play. Yeah, you could be right. And Xander and Cantley usually do that with their ladies.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're right. Napa does bring us sometimes a different kind of crowd. Okay. Yeah, I don't... no golf show next week.
No, that's it for the golf shows. Maybe
it's Labor Day, which is good. I got my I'll have my home league draft, so it's good. No golf show Monday.
Yeah, I think we'll be releasing the win totals draft, which we're recording on Thursday with Rob, Cam, and you. Cust is a maybe for that, as he had something come up, but hopefully he can still be here for the win totals draft. Either way, we'll have some fun with that going forward. Again, at GFienberg17. On Twitter, if you want to follow Jeff, at the PME. For me, I'm giving away $500 cash for everyone that subscribes, rates, and reviews 5 stars to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast on Apple, or Spotify, and sub to it on YouTube as well for the video version. Code Mayo at Underdog Fantasy right now will get you a deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And just go click the Google Forms link in the description right now to pre-register for the Pick'em contest for NFL season. Gonna be a laugh, all right? Smash the like on the way out. That'll do it for me. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience! Experience!